Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. My name's Jared. Today I'm going to be fixing the wheel fitment on my V35 Skyline. I recently installed some coilovers and did the wheel alignment on the car and added a bit more camber, negative camber in. And the fitment's a bit weaker than I would have liked. The car's just on some ramps at the moment, so the gap looks a bit different. Back looks a bit better. I'm thinking it might be alright actually, but possibly I could throw a 3mm spacer in the back. So what I bought is some GKTech extended wheel studs for the front and also some hubcentric 8mm slip-on spacers for the front too. So if you're going to put any wheel spacers on that are more than 3mm, for example, this is a 3mm slip-on spacer non-hubcentric. You can get away with just using the factory wheel studs, but when you start going more than 3mm, 5mm is really at the limit. You need to extend the wheel studs longer to account for having less thread engagement. So at least for the V35 and for Skylines and Silvias in general, GKTech makes some of the cheapest extended wheel studs. You can also get hard brace extended wheel studs as well. These are much nicer, they have a knurled end. But for me, what I want to do here, this is fine. And I specifically went for these GKTech spacers because they have the hub-centric part built in to center the wheel. Normally 3 and 5mm spacers don't have the hub-centric part, but anything bigger I recommend you do go and get one. For installing the wheel studs, I recommend you get one of these tools. It's just a bearing with a tapered seat, and it comes with a couple of different wheel nuts to pull it on. This way you can change the wheel stud on the car without actually needing a press. So I'm just going to go ahead, jack the car up and get the wheel off. So now you've got the wheel off your car. For example here, I can just show you these are a slip-on hub-centric spacer, which you can also buy as well. These are pretty cheap. But to remove the wheel stud, we're going to have to go and take the caliper off and then take the disc off as well. So pretty much all cars are going to have 2 bolts at the back of the caliper to pull that off, and the disc should slide out. And just showing you, for example, if you were to use the 8mm slip-on spacer, you do lose 8mm worth of thread engagement there. At this point now, you're able to get the wheel stud out. The easiest way to get it out is just to use a hammer and knock it out the other direction. You'll see there's a cutout on the brake shield here, and also particularly a little scallop in the middle there, designed to make it easier to get the wheel stud in and out. If you want to save your wheel stud to potentially reuse it in the future, put a nut on the end like this, so it's flush with the end of the stud, and hit with the hammer like on this surface. If you hit it without the nut, you'll actually knurl the end of the threads, and it'll be really hard to thread anything on if you want to use it again in the future. So now you take your wheel nut installation tool and put it over the wheel stud with the nut. And then you can use a rattle gun. You just want to get the stud lined up in the back. Now they're all installed. I like to put a little bit of grease on the threads because it makes the nut going on and off easier when installing wheel studs. So now I got the caliper back on, the disc back on, we can finally put the spacer on, and you can compare sort of how much more thread we have now. Even with the 8mm on there. The next thing you need to take into account with longer wheel studs is whether your factory nuts will fit. These have a closed end, so the shank of the bolt can only go to the end before it bottoms out, whereas you might need to switch to an open-ended lug nut like this, which also has a longer body compared to the factory one. So you actually have more thread engagement with this one, but also the ability to put a longer wheel nut through. You could also just use wheel nuts like this, like the one that came in the installation kit, but you'll have a long piece of thread hanging at the end. These do a better job at protecting it from potential damage. Looking at the fitment, I think that's pretty good. It's pretty much now flush with the side of the body. Now I just repeat it on the other side and then we'll get the car on the ground. Alright guys, that wraps up another video. Hope you enjoyed this quick one today, just with putting the wheel studs and the spacers on. Very happy with how it looks. I think I probably could have even gone a 10mm in the front and it'd still be alright. But I'll probably do some more driving around first and just see with big bumps whether when it bottoms out, if it does cause any. Maybe I'll think about putting a 2mm on the back or getting a 10mm spacer in the future. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hope you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.